Okay, so I've had this car just about a week now. Today is the last day with it. We drove down to Florida last week, or the week before last week, technically. Um, and yeah, I just thought I'd do like a quick review on how the drive was with this car. This is the 2024, I believe, or 25 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Um, the trip was 23 hours, I believe. We initially drove down there with a different car than this, but we drove basically once I got to Florida, wherever we were staying initially. We changed the car in the same day because I was having issues with the car that I had. So we were able to change it to get this car, which is the car that I originally booked anyways, but they didn't have it. But yeah, no, let's look at a few things in the car. I'll start it up here. So this car was very comfortable to drive. Yeah, this car was very comfortable to drive. I'd done a couple or looked at a couple videos prior to getting it, or prior to even renting a car to see if I get it. And again, I was disappointed when I didn't get it, but fortunately, I was able to get it at the Fort Lauderdale airport when I got there. Yeah, just a few things about this car. So you have in the front seats. This is the Series 2. So there's three series. There's Series 1, which I think is the regular one, the Series 2, and the Series 3. I have the 2 here. The Series 1 doesn't have the passenger screen there. This one does. And the Series 3, what it has is the passenger screen. It has like a night vision camera here, and it has the TV screens in the back. This one is an 8-seater. The Series 3, I believe, is a 7-seater, and there's like a console in the middle where you can control the climate and the seats and stuff. The front seats have massage, the driver and the passenger side. They work pretty well, to be honest with you. You don't expect much out of it. Obviously, it's not like one of those big mall chairs that you can pay for and get like a good massage out of it. But it works decently. This one, it has 3 settings: high, medium, and low, and it has different like settings for the massage itself. Seats up front are heated and cool, and it has this section too where you could adjust like the lumbar parts of the seat, so you could move it in and out. For the back part, you can move the bolster in and out. You could tighten it, loosen it. You could move this, so it makes it like for a very comfortable riding experience because you can kind of like adjust the seats to however you need to adjust them. The seat adjustments are here, so you can adjust the headrest. Here you can adjust the middle portion, you can adjust the back here, and you can adjust obviously this. I don't know about cars that have them on the door, because truth be told, like if you start moving your chair back, then it's like kind of hard to reach the controls. So I do prefer sometimes having them on the seat down here as opposed to, but it is I guess it's like a premium look, because I think the Mercedes has that same thing. The pedals, you can move the pedals up and forward and backwards pretty much. Where is the button for that? It's down here, so this is the button for it. You'll see here. You can move the pedals forward and backward to adjust, if you're not a super tall person, you can kind of just do that. The wheel is automatic as well. You can move that forward and backward with the little knob right here. So for the driver, it's a very comfortable experience. The passenger is, I would say, it's equally as comfortable. If you get this series here, you're gonna have the screen on the side. Let's see if I can turn it on so you guys can see. So you can't see it from the driver's side, but you can see it from the passenger side. I've seen videos of people installing apps and stuff so that they could, use the Wi-Fi in the car, use their own Wi-Fi to watch or stream stuff. This car didn't have any of that, but you can plug something via HDMI. So if you have a laptop or something, you can plug it. If you press this button down here, you're able to plug the HDMI passenger in, and you can watch something on that screen there. You can also, if you end up using the navigation for this car, you can also use like this screen here to, like, say if you needed a gas station or something, you can input it on the passenger screen and it would go straight to this screen here. And you'd be able to see it here because the navigation does show up. Where is it? Yeah, the map does show up here, as you can see. and there's a heads-up display right here. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I doubt you can, but there's a heads-up display here, and it'll kind of show you the directions as well, so you don't have to keep looking down at the screen. There is something I'd never seen in a car before. I've seen it in cars, but I've never experienced it. There's a fridge here. They call it a cool box. This is very convenient for the trip. I'm not gonna lie to you, because if you're driving, you know, 20 hours or whatever the case is, you stop at gas stations sometimes and you'll buy drinks or whatever, snacks or whatever. And having that box in the middle to where you can keep everything cold, it was very convenient. Like we had the cool box loaded with, like, you know, drinks and stuff, or things that need to be refrigerated, like if you have fruits or whatever the case is. You could put them all in the box there and it'll keep it cool. This closes and opens, and this is closes and open too. One thing about this car that you'll notice, there's a lot of USB charging ports. So you got these here in the front, you got 2 up here, you got 2 USB-Cs and 2 regular ones. You got the actual cigarette lighter port, and you got a regular one and a USB-C one here as well. There's 3 rows in this car. Each row has its own charging ports. And let me turn this off. I'll just put it on run mode. And I'll show you guys like the rest of the car. Oh, I forgot about this. So I think all the models come with this. Rear view mirror. There's a camera installed on it. Truth be told, when I first, if you press the lever down here, like, it'll turn to a regular mirror, and when you turn it on, it turns to the actual camera. Truth be told, like, when I initially got the car, I didn't find much use for it, because it kind of seemed, you know, like it wasn't good quality. But what I ended up finding out, like, coming back from the trip, was the camera was dirty. And so once I wiped it, it actually worked really well. Like, it's actually pretty good quality in terms of like a camera on the back of a car. You know, you could kind of, and I prefer to use it too, because you can kind of see out of the blind spots. When it comes to most car mirrors, like, they're small like this. This is a small mirror, so if you're using a regular mirror, you're not able to really see out the blind spots, and not really able to see out the back too, especially if you have bags. And I think they probably accounted for that and said most people that are driving this car are going to be taking road trips and have a lot of bags in the car. So it makes sense for them to, you know, install something to where, you know, you can see out the back safely without your view being obstructed. And you got the big side mirrors here with the blind spot mirror. You have them on both sides. You have a blind spot detector as well. What else can I show you guys here? Oh, the car has a hydraulic system, so it's not like the Maybach where it's like you see people playing around with it. This is actually more, I've never seen the, like, you know, actually been in the Maybach to actually know what the use is for, but this is for, like, depending on the condition of the road or depending on how you're driving. So clearly you see there's modes here that you have: sport, auto, snow, and sand, mud. So you can the car will kind of adjust based on what condition you're driving in. Usually in auto, it'll set to the 2nd level. If you're parked, it has it set to the 1st level so that the car is lower so that you can get in and out easily. But once you start driving, it goes to the 2nd level. Sand and mud, it'll adjust to get like a higher ride height. And the suspension kind of changes as well to make it a little bit more smooth, like if you're going around a lot of bumps. But, you know, most of the time you're just going to leave it in auto so that it can kind of just do its own thing. But if you do get around like a situation where you do need to change it, then obviously figure out what setting you would need to. Because I did have to set it to the sand mud once, because we were going through some mud and it was kind of bumpy, and I set it to that, and I felt the change in the suspension. Seats in front heated and cooled. Steering wheel heated. Uconnect works well. Sometimes it's a bit laggy. I did have a moment during the trip where it was glitching up a bit, like the Apple CarPlay section was glitching up and the screen was kind of messed up, and I thought I'd cracked the screen or something, and I was just trying to figure out what was wrong with it. But I ended up just resetting the system. I reset it, it didn't work instantly, and then I left the car for a little bit, and when I came back it was working properly and the CarPlay was fine. So yeah, just if you have issues with it, just, I guess, reset it. One last thing before I look at the rest of the car. You can see here, so I drove the car probably 2,500 or 3,000 miles, This is the average MPG 18.5. If you set it, like most of the driving was done on the highway, but once you start driving in the city, it'll change it. So once I got off the highway, pretty much, it was at like 21 or 22. And then once I got back home, I've been mostly driving in the city, and it kind of went down to like 18.5. But truth be told, 18.5 for a car this big, like, it's pretty good, because I've had cars, you know, I've rented cars or had cars, like the Durango, for instance, which the V6 and the V8 version. The V8, I don't know if you're going to get 18 miles per gallon total driving. I think the highway model for Durango might be around 24 or 25, but this, considering like all the people that I had to carry and the luggage that I had to carry, it was the 18.5 or the 22 that I was getting on the highway was pretty good. I think I paid from Orlando to Toronto, gas might have been like $2 something US. I can't remember exactly, but it was something in the range of $220, $240 US. And obviously you got to return the rental with a full gas tank, so I guess it'll probably be another, I don't know, because I think it takes 80 to fill this tank in the US, depending on where you get the gas. Gas is a little bit more expensive in Canada, so that 80 might become 130 or 140, but it's a big tank, so that will last you. I never looked at the kilometers, but a full tank was around 625 miles. I'm not sure how many kilometers that is. That might be like 800 or something like that, so it'll last you a while. Like, you put the $100 or you put the $80 US, and it'll take you, you know, a good 10 hours for it to finish, depending on how you're driving. Before I get out, another thing about this car, like, it's a really nice looking car on the outside, and I'll show you guys once I get out of it. You're gonna get a lot of looks and a lot of compliments on this car. You don't see a lot of them on the road, truth be told, and I'm not sure what the reason is. I don't know if they're not popular. I know they're expensive, maybe that's the reason why, but you're gonna get a lot of looks and a lot of attention when it comes to driving this car, because this is realistically a $160,000 car. So you're gonna get those looks and you're gonna get that attention, and it's gonna be, you know, it's a nice car. It's a really nice car to drive. It competes with the Escalade long wheelbase version. So let me try to move some of this stuff. So yeah, as I said, I had the seat all the way back pretty much, but I'm not super tall, but let's say 5'8", 5'9". If the seat was up in a proper position, you know, you'd have more than enough space. Even now, like how the seat is, it's pretty back, like I said. You can still see I have some leg room. So yeah, the features back here. I think there is there are the USB ports here. I never sat back here, so I didn't know. USB ports are here. You got your climate control screen right here. You got vents here. You got this you can bring up to block the sun. Sunroof extends to back here. You got your light right here. And this is a 3-seater. Like, this is a legit 3-seater middle seat. Like, it's not like one of those cramped, you know, 3-seaters, you know, seats. Like, I'm sitting right here, and I have, you know, you can kind of see how the seat cuts out, and I'm sitting in the seat properly. And you got the middle part here. It's the same thing, and the side part here too. It's the same thing. The third row, honestly, is the same thing too, because I'll get it in the back so I can show you guys. So for you to get the seat back, you just press this button here, and it comes back. So yeah, oops, I pressed the button to bring it down. So yeah, that third row, you'll see the seat is reclined a little bit. I have more than enough space here. Obviously someone that's a little bit taller will probably be a little bit cramped, but like I said, I have more than enough space. The seat does recline. You have a vent here. You got 2 chargers here, and the same thing on the other side, cup holder, vent, 2 chargers, and you have the buttons here so that you can bring the seat down in front of you, so you don't have to press this one. And you have your own sunroof as well. What else is back here? It's like my first time being back here, to be honest. Yeah, you have your own sunroof and all that other fancy stuff. Then you got the back part, the trunk. I'll open the trunk to see it, but there's more than enough space for luggage. I think when we went down, we had, let's see, we had one large suitcase, we had like 2 carry-ons, we had one large duffel bag, and a few other bags, but there was more than enough space for everything. Even the space that we didn't use back here, if we needed to put more luggage in the back, then we just used that. Let me put this down. Oh no, this is for this seat. Okay, so these buttons are for these seats. So yeah, if you put these seats down, obviously you'll see that it extends, and you have a whole bunch of space. Like if you needed the luggage, if you were just you and, I don't know, 4 people or 5 people, and you needed more space for the luggage, you could just easily put this down, and it would just be way more space than you needed to. And yeah, if you need to put the seat back up, obviously you just press the button like I did there, and it would come down or come back up. And then for you to get out, that's the seat right here. So yeah, this car in person, like, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but in person this car is humongous. I'm just walking around it. And a nice touch it has is the step ladder. Once the doors open, you can kind of just step on there, because it is a high car. Like, it is a high in terms of like the height of the vehicle. So let me try to put this back. Yeah, it is very high in terms of the actual height of the vehicle. So yeah, overall, no, this car was really nice for the trip. I'm very skeptical on cars that have a V6 engine that are this big when it comes to long-term usage. Oh, you can see the screen a bit better here. When it comes to long-term usage, I don't know if cars that are this huge should have those small engines, or not small engines, but engines that side, even though it is like turbocharged and all that stuff. I'm sure the new technology is good, but truthfully, I don't know if it makes sense for a car this size to have that kind of engine. I think like V8s, obviously they're more gas guzzler cars, but when you have a V8 on your engine. But truth be told, if somebody's buying this car for $160,000, I don't think they're worrying about gas. I think they're probably just worrying about the space and, you know, the reliability that you need when it comes to buying something this big. Like, this is a $150,000, $160,000 car, depending on where you're buying it from. And I think whoever buys this car just wants this car to lug their family around, lug whatever around for at least 4, 5, 6 years, whatever the case is. And then, you know, once you're ready to get rid of it or sell it or get something else, then you move on. But overall, like, if you're just renting it for a trip, it's very nice, very premium. A lot of the leather stitching here. You got like a nice raised aluminum kind of feel. Like I said, the screens. This does get dirty quite a bit. But yeah, there's so much stuff in here that, you know, that'll make the ride comfortable for not only the driver, the passenger, and people that are sitting in the back. It's a great car to purchase and great car to rent and a great car to have for a trip. No one complained about comfort. Realistically, if we had wanted to, we probably could have slept in this car, like, with how big this car is, you know. So yeah, no, if you're looking to have a trip or rent a car, I would definitely recommend this. Buying it, that's a different story. You'd have to drive it for a little bit longer to kind of see how it pans out, because I have seen some people post videos about having issues with it long term. But in terms of like having it short term, like a week, maybe even a month, if you rented it for a month, yeah, I would say for sure rent this car if you're able to, because it's gonna beat out the Expedition. I don't know if the Expedition has a V6 or a V8, but it's for sure gonna beat out the Expedition in terms of features, possibly. The 8-seater, it might compare to the Expedition in terms of space. I know the Expedition might be a bit wider, but I think with the 8 seats back here, it compares to the Expedition Max in terms of space. And it kind of, like, I still think the Escalade has it in looks, but it's right up there with the Escalade. It's like, you know, 1A, 1B almost. depending on the person. But I feel like that all black Escalade has a very, very premium look. But it's up there. It's for sure comparing with all the, you know, SUVs of this size, and I think it probably beats out most of the SUVs of this size as well, and most of the features, the space, and all that other stuff. So yeah, no, that was my experience with the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Yeah, if you're looking to rent it, I would recommend it. This will probably be a car that I'm gonna rent again if I go on any trips anytime soon. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments.